Welcome to part two, the rehabilitation of an absent father. So at this point, my mother has two children by my father, me and my sister. But, you know, time move on. My father moves on, got married, and in the process, he gained four other children. Um, my mother moved on, and she just got married. Now, as far as my father is concerned, you know, he still was, on drugs up until a certain point. But the strength of my stepmother, she didn't leave him. Um, I used to be jealous on how my father interacted with my siblings. Um, you know, watching my father through his transitions. I'm the oldest from my father and my mother, but watching the transition, I'm not thinking about the small things like, is he teaching my brother and sister stuff? The only thing I'm thinking about is he's there. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. And it used to have me jealous for the most part. And not like jealous in the sense of, I didn't like my brother and my sisters because I adored them. It was just more so like, damn, I wish, the way you are there with them, I wish you was there with me and my other sister. My mother moved on and she married a man, and he was a good man. And this doesn't take anything away from my biological father, but I live with him, and he taught me some stuff. He taught me how to be mature. He used to talk to me about my attitude towards my mother. He used to just sit down and talk to me about life. He helped me out with getting in school. Those things were, important to my life. And he was the reason why I went to college. But as far as my mother and my father is concerned, right, none of them taught me how to treat a woman. I watched my father do a lot of things, and I watched my mother do a lot of things. So when I'm looking at my mother and my father, I'm like, well, how am I like, is this I'm confused because is this the norm? Am I supposed to be like this? Maybe, I don't know, but nobody's teaching me how to be a one woman's man or to grow up to be a one woman's man. I remember my mother used to say stuff like, oh, you too fine to be with one woman. You too young to be with one woman. And I'm like, well, shit, if it's coming from my mother, then maybe she right? My father was just smooth, charisma. From sixth grade to about 2000, when my father wasn't on drug, like I guess the times where he took a break or whatever, all I remember him is just being like, even throughout my life, like just being smooth, charisma, charming, a ladies' man. And he wasn't teaching me this, but this is what the comprehension skills, right? This is what I see. I'm learning from what I'm seeing. And then I'm watching my mother, and I'm like, she did her ones and twos. And whether she was right or wrong, I'm like, well, shit, if I'm watching my mother doing this, man, I ain't really trusting no females. Like, nah, like, I don't know. And then growing up with women, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a player. I'm just being a player. The only people that, like, it's funny, my grandmother, it's like, what, if I'm going to pick a female, it's going to be like my grandmother. But even with my father, even with my stepfather, even with my mother, nobody's teaching me how to be a one-woman's man. So up until 2000, I'm watching everybody do different stuff with women and men. I'm watching people stick around. I'm watching people get married. I'm watching people have children. I'm watching people, leave their children, people on drugs. From the time I was born up until 2000, it was very confusing. I had, girlfriends. I had a high school sweetheart, but I was just like a player. Like, yo, why not? Everybody else a player. Why not? I was told I was sexy, fine, handsome, and I'm getting all the women anyway. Why not? You ain't supposed to be with one female, but I was the player. From my comprehension skills, from the level of things that I'm seeing. I don't know. My stepfather, I've never seen him cheat. And I seen the way he treated my mother. He treated my mother with the utmost respect. I'm talking about he was a man the way he treated my mother. The way he treated me and my little sister, Shantae, he treated us like gold, man, like diamonds. But that wasn't enough because the people that I want to learn from are not teaching me. And more importantly, they're not showing me either. So it was just very confusing. So at this point, I'm having sex, unprotected sex. I'm having sex with women my age. I'm having sex with women that were 5 years older than me. Some women that were 10 years older than me. And what I think is love, I thought I was finding it through being a player, having sex. But come to find out, that wasn't it. And from watching my mother, watching my father, those who birthed me, I'm learning from them, along with watching everybody else do their ones and twos, being a part of the in crowd, wanting to fit in, along with everybody telling me, you're the chosen one. Go out there and get as many women as you want. That's what you're supposed to do. Man. Especially my high school years, man. My high school years, like, and it gets crazier after high school. But I'm learning through watching people that I love the most, which is my biological parents. And what they say, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, right? And even though they didn't raise me, I still picked up the characteristics. And it got me in a long stretch of trouble. Stay tuned for part 3. This is where part 3 is just where, like, now you're going to see why I said the rehabilitation of an absent father. Thanks for tuning in.